on a bare hilltop, call up an army against Babylon. Raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop, call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them. Wave your hand to encourage them. As they march into the palaces of the high and mighty, I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. And they will rejoice when I am exalted.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to hour two of the Dr. Katherine Albrecht Show. Today is Thursday, May 14th. Hard to believe it's already May. We're almost halfway through this year. It feels like it was just winter. But here we are, and I am, following up on a conversation that we had in the first hour about technology giving us great gifts with one hand and stabbing us in the back with the other. And I am not one to deny the gifts, but here's the deal with technology is the gifts wouldn't have been necessary in the first place had we not made the decision to eat from that forbidden fruit and bring about all of the darkness and death and destruction and evil in the world. Because the world prior to, we'll never know, actually, well, maybe someday we'll know, but it's hard to know now what would have been in store for the human race had we not chosen to eat the forbidden fruit. Our ancestors, Adam and Eve, chose to disobey God, eat the forbidden fruit, and chose to obtain the powers of God for themselves instead of allowing God to give them the paradise that he had created for them and provide for all of their needs, keep them in perfect safety, and also allow them to, I guess the psychological term is self-actualize. So there is a deception from the enemy, a lie from the devil, he's the father of lies, that says, oh, no, you didn't want that. That would have kept you infantilized. That would have made you infants. You would have been helpless. You would have just had to do whatever that big meanie said. And the reality is that's not God. God is not like that in the faintest. And I can tell you that as my own self, my own life, that choosing to follow God has given me more opportunity to have free will and to be myself and to explore my gifts and talents and to truly do what I love to do and to make my own decisions, much more so than back before I chose to completely follow God. And that's the irony, right? That's the paradox. That's another 50-cent word. A paradox is something that seems like it's one thing, but it's really another thing. It seems like it's, what is the, oxymoron is another word for it, right? Like military intelligence, people who think military is not intelligent, but yeah. Or jumbo shrimp, oxymorons like that. So the paradox of God, though, is that by choosing to obey God, you are given complete 100% free will. And that is the cool part, because even though Adam and Eve made a horrible decision to choose their own self-interest and to become like gods themselves, which is the ultimate form of pride and hubris. There's another 50-cent word for excessive pride, hubris, hubris. Even though they chose pride and hubris over obedience and submission sounds really terrible, but obedience and submission is exactly what the devil wants to beat out of all of us. He wants us on our face, groveling before him in complete misery, groveling in the muck and in the mud. He wants, what is it George Orwell said in 1984? He wants a boot pressing on a human face forever. That's what the devil wants. So the devil lies to us and says that we can have true independence and we do not have to obey anyone. But as that song says, and I would play it, but I don't know how to do it here on the show right now. As the song says, you got to serve somebody. It's a Dylan song, and it's been recorded by lots of other artists since. But it may be the devil, it may be the Lord, but you got to serve someone. And the truth is that if you're serving yourself, you're actually serving the devil. If you're serving the devil, he will have you. He will do everything in his power to remove your free will, to have you groveling on your face before him, to press his boot into your face, into the mud, as long as you live, and to use you to destroy others, use you to harm your own life, and basically run amok. So you do not want to be serving yourself, because there is no such thing as serving yourself. And you know why that is? Because there's one throne, and that throne is in heaven. It is not here on earth. The place in heaven that determines who we serve, there is a throne up there. And Satan will lie to you and say, kick God off of it, put yourself on it. But the reality is you can't get on it, because it's in heaven and you are not. You are here on earth. You can't get on that throne in heaven. So at all times, at every single moment, there is either God or the devil on that throne. And you got to choose which one you're going to serve. If you serve the devil, he will convince you, serve yourself, I guess, that you don't have to serve anybody. You can just serve yourself. Not true. If you serve him, if you serve yourself, he will take away your free will. If you serve God, paradoxically, amazingly, and astonishingly, and surprisingly, and very much truthfully, if you serve God, you will have free will like you've never had before. You'll have the ability at every moment to make your own free choice. God does not demand worship. He does not demand of you. I mean, he certainly doesn't hold a gun to your head and say, you do this, you do that. He says, these are the rules. You can follow them or not follow them. Totally your call. This is the road to happiness. You can choose to walk on it or not walk on it. Totally your call. You can choose to love. You can choose to hate. You can choose to forgive. You can choose not to. But if you want a good life, if you want to be happy, if you want to maintain your independence, really, and not be in bondage or in slavery to sin and to the devil, then you will choose the road that I've shown you, because it leads to life. It's the road of life. It's the road of love. It's the road of peace. It's the road of harmony. It's the road of all the good stuff. And at the end of the day, you will be self-actualized, right? That's from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for those of you who were studying psychology back in the 60s. That is, not that I was doing that back then. I was I wasn't even around for much of the 60s, but anyway, the Maslow hierarchy of needs is that, I guess, what do we all need? First of all, air. If you're deprived of that, you will immediately suffocate. You need food and water. You need shelter. You need clothing. And at the very end of meeting all of those needs, you need to be self-actualized. You need to have a purpose, a meaning in your life. And God, far from removing that from you, will give it to you beyond anything you ever imagined before. Why will he do that? Because he made you. Because he knows what you were made to do. He knows what you're good at. He knows what you enjoy. And he wants nothing more than to give exactly that to you, and to let you make the choices. So there's really no contest there. But in making the decision to become as gods themselves, Adam and Eve made a decision in the garden by eating that fruit that cursed them, kind of like a fairy tale, all those Grimm's fairy tales, and I used to read lots and lots of Scandinavian fairy tales. I have lots of books of those as a kid. In the fairy tales, there's usually a catch, right? You get some kind of present, but there's a catch. And the catch with that fruit is, yes, you will obtain the powers of God, but you won't be able to ever say no. So how do we obtain the powers of God? This is what happened, for those of you who missed the first hour. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were told, don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or you will surely die. The serpent said to Eve, you won't die, you'll just get the powers of God, and he doesn't want you to have those powers, but go ahead and eat it, and you will have the powers of God, knowing good and evil. And so she ate it, she gave it to Adam, he ate it. They brought on all of the hardship that humanity has dealt with ever since, and probably the biggest hardship we brought upon ourselves is through that action, they democratically elected Satan to be the ruler of this world. So they chose, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, who do I want? The ultimate source of good, the ultimate source of evil, let's pick evil. So that's what they did. They democratically elected the devil to be the ruler of this world. He did not come in with guns and tanks and take over. He was elected. And once he got control of this world, all kinds of nastiness came in. And so the decision to elect him as the ruler of this world brought on all kinds of darkness. And what I was going to say, what I was saying in the first hour, I don't knock the benefits of technology because we need them. We need them because we live in a world now that has disease in it. We need the ability to fight disease. We need antibiotics. People used to die in droves from the plague and from, my gosh, you could cut your foot. I think, was it Theodore Roosevelt's son cut his foot or was playing tennis in shoes that didn't fit, got a blister in his foot, and died from it, from an infection because they didn't have basic antibiotics back then. And this is like 1912 ish. I don't know. Don't quote me on the dates, but that's basically the deal. People would die from something as silly as that. You would get a mosquito bite. You'd scratch it too much. You'd get an infection in your arm. It would turn into blood sepsis, and you'd be dead within a week. So, don't get me wrong. I very much value the benefits of modern technology, even though they have tremendous downsides, antibiotics being one among them. But the thing that we need to not lose sight of is that those benefits that we are being given, and in my book, tentatively titled Backstab, I make the case that the devil himself brought on all of these problems and then offers us technology to solve them. So it would be as though there was some bad guy out there and he broke both your legs. And as you were there completely crippled and unable to even move, he would say, I've got just the thing. I'm going to solve your problem. Here's a pair of crutches. And you would be like, oh, thank you for this fabulous pair of crutches. Well, that's what technology is like, really. It is all of the things that we are benefiting from through technology are things we would not have needed to, problems we would not have needed to solve in the first place had we simply done what we were supposed to do, had we simply rested in the hand of God and let Him allow us to become everything we were supposed to be. Not infants, not infantilized, not dependent children, but to be fully actualized. Because why would God create us in His image? So sorry. As soon as this break comes up, I'm going to mute my mic and cough my guts out. But God absolutely wants you to be all that you can be because He made you all the things you are. So, yeah, no, enough of the devil breaking our legs and handing us crutches. I'm not that grateful for them, frankly. All right, stay tuned.
We live in a scary world and things seem to get worse every day. Yet when you hear me on the radio, there's a spring in my step and a smile in my voice. How is that possible with all the bad news I have to plow through each day? The answer is a simple one. It's because of my relationship with God. I come to Him with my prayers, faith, and love, and He rewards me with protection, courage, and calm. He meets all my needs and opens doors for me when they need to be opened. God wants that kind of relationship with you too. To find the comfort and security that comes from knowing the God of the universe, the loving God who made you can start by reading the book of Matthew. It's the first book of the New Testament, about two-thirds of the way through your Bible. Pray before you begin reading. Ask God to touch your heart and let you feel His love. The Lord wants to save you from the ravening beast that's nipping at all of our heels. He wants to embrace you as His beloved child and meet all your needs. Give Him a chance to do it. Read the book of Matthew today.
Are you really prepared? There's one critical piece most people forget. When disaster strikes, the most powerful survival tool isn't in your hands, it's in your head. But here's the hard truth: knowledge disappears fast when the grid goes down. That's why we created the Preparedness Tablet, the first and only off grid digital library designed specifically for survival situations. We've done the work for you. This rugged, portable tablet comes preloaded with a massive library of practical knowledge: food preservation and storage, emergency medical care, off grid living and homesteading, security, defense, and more. It's indexed, searchable, organized, and powered by a free solar charger, so you'll never be without it. It also comes with a protective hard case, and you can upgrade it with supplemental survival files and EMP protection. Whether it's a power outage, social unrest, or a full blown crisis, this tablet gives you instant access to skills that save lives. From treating wounds to growing food, even saving cherished family documents and photos, this preparedness tablet is your silent partner when things go sideways. You can't know it all, but you can carry it with you. Preloaded with survival knowledge, runs 100% off grid, backup and store your own files, lightweight, portable, and solar powered. Join thousands of Americans closing the last gap in the emergency prep. Visit our website now and get peace of mind in the palm of your hand. The preparedness tablet also makes a thoughtful and potentially life-saving gift. Invest in yourself, protect your family. Visit www.comcoms.link. That's www.comcoms.link. Be ready, be smart, be the one who plans ahead. We also offer custom portable radios that come pre-configured for your local area. Included with these versatile radios is free basic training to get you up to speed quickly on how to use your radio. Visit our website today and learn all about our unique products. Comcoms.link, COMCOMS.link.
There you go. So, so sorry, people in YouTube. I will get it. I need to automate it or something. But I've got my big sign up here. I'll show it to you so you can be convinced that I really. My light's gonna fall. All right, here we go. Here's my sign. See that? Unmute, unmute. It's right here. I can't miss it. I'm sticking it right to my camera. There we go. Unmute, unmute, unmute. Can't miss it. So I am so sorry for people on YouTube for the numerous times that I have forgotten to unmute my camera after coughing. All right, there we go. Unmute. I can't miss it now. It's, of course it fell off. Anyway, I'll stick it back up there. I promise it'll be right there. But the thing about technology is that when we got cursed, right? And this is like in the sense of a fairy tale curse. When humanity chose to eat the fruit, get the powers of good and evil, which is the power of the benefit and the downside to all of the powers of God that we have obtained. And every single one of them has a beautiful gift and an incredible backstab, both. When we made that deal, we could not back out of it. That is a deal that we have got to live with until we die. So when God said, if you eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will surely die. Now, Adam and Eve probably thought that meant you're going to keel over right now, and die like on the spot, fall right here on the ground in Eden and be dead. But what God really meant, your entire race, your species, your everything will be dead. It'll be gone. You'll lose it all. Everything is going to die. And of course, the serpent said, you won't surely die. You'll obtain the powers of God. Well, he had his own ulterior motives. He had his own agenda for saying that. And what was his agenda? Well, why was he the devil in the first place? Well, we know from the Bible that he was originally Lucifer, which was an angel of light, right? He is the prince of the air. He was the song leader. He had all kinds of, he was beautiful beyond description. He was wonderful. He was made to be one of the archangels at the very top of the food chain, up there in heaven serving God. And yet he made the same decision that Adam and Eve made, which is to rebel, to become prideful, and decide to become God himself. And when he did that, he fell, along with a third of the angels in heaven who followed him and became demons. They had been angels. They became demons, spirits. And so that is the original sin. That is the worst sin. Pride is the sin that God hates the most from everything I've been able to tell in my reading of the Bible. God hates pride because pride leads to a fall. It leads to destruction. So when humanity made the decision to eat that fruit, made the decision to turn against God, to elect the devil said, cool, this is great because now I have slaves. Because what that did is it made us slaves to technology. And now listen to this. You probably haven't heard this before. I haven't heard anybody say this, but I'm going to say it. There is no technology that humans have ever made that they can stop themselves from employing. None. There isn't. There isn't. If we've made it, we've got to develop it. If we've figured out how to make it, we have to make it. It's horrifying. It's absolutely awful. Even, I think the biggest and most egregious example is artificial intelligence. Even the people making it, even the people working at the facilities making it, even the people who developed it, who thought it up, are the ones screaming from the rooftops, it's going to kill us. We can't do this. We need to stop. And yet we can't. We can't. And the reason we can't, it seems inexplicable until you understand the spiritual rule behind the curse. The reason we cannot stop is because we are forced. It's the catch, it's the gotcha, it's the curse of the fairy tale that because we ate the forbidden fruit, we have to continue on this road until we die. Now, I have had, I don't know, kind of a, I hope I don't depress you with this. So I've had kind of a disturbing realization recently. And that is that every generation has thought that they were the last generation. And there's a lot of people right now, I think it's like 30% of Americans, I'd have to go back and see the numbers, but it's something like 30% of Americans believe that they are living in the end times. And I have to admit, it's crossed my mind too. I have kind of not thought it, but once artificial intelligence came out and the actual experts started saying it's going to kill us all, I was like, yeah, maybe we are the last generation. But I was recently rereading the journal of the travel logs of Christopher Columbus. And did you know that Christopher Columbus, back in 1492, sailing the ocean blue, believed that he was in the last generation? He was actually a deeply religious person. He wrote quite a bit from Revelation and actually spent a lot of time looking at the apocalypse and believed that he was ushering it in 1492. Why? Because in Revelation, there's a line that says, knowledge will be greatly increased and people will travel to and fro. He was like, well, knowledge has never been as greatly increased as in my era because I just discovered a whole new portion of the globe. That's some pretty intense increase in knowledge. And talk about going to and fro, we're traveling, dude. So I must be the end. And so he actually believed himself to be the usherer inner of the end of time. And every generation has thought that. Every single generation. I've read things back at the turn of the century when when electricity was introduced and cars were introduced and phones were introduced, and people all thought they were the last generation. People living through the Holocaust certainly thought they were the last generation. And here's my news for you. Consider it good news or bad news. I think we're not the last generation. I'll tell you why in a minute. And feel free to call in. I'll put up the phone number. It is 512-248-8252. All right. Anything you want to comment or talk about, let me know. Stay tuned.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Extendivite really works. Just listen to what some people have to say.
Several years ago, I was developing a very severe situation. I called it my flippy heart. It was doing not good things. And I did not want to go to a medical doctor because I just knew they would give me a cover-up pill. I didn't want to get onto that sort of thing at all. When I learned it was garlic and cayenne, and cayenne is a healer. It is a wonderful herb. I said, I think I'm onto something here. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be without it. It did wonderful things for me.
Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid. Call now. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit drinksupertea.com. The first word is drink, spelled D-R-I-N-K, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is drinksupertea.com. Or call us at 818-965-9113, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-965-9113. drinksupertea.com.
Though you must endure these trials, it's only for a little while. It's only testing by the fire, born into a living hope. From flesh into perfection, through death and resurrection. You've never seen him, but you trust him. You don't see him, but you love him. And your reward is coming, coming. So be glad there is joy ahead for you.
That's Rianne, R-I-A-N. She's got like 5 songs total that are scripture, and I don't know, like 12 total that are not. So there's not a lot out there, but I just love her voice. Rianne, R-I-A-N. I found her on Spotify. She's fantastic. And that is scripture. All the songs that I play on the show come from scripture directly, so that when they're running through your head as you're driving to the post office or mowing your lawn and a song from this show runs through your head, you'll know that it's pure scripture. Beautiful stuff. And on Tuesday, special thanks to Analog Dave, who was kind enough to prepare a show for me on Tuesday. I was too sick to come on the air because I was out with a cold because I didn't use my grapefruit seed extract nasal irrigation rinse that I talked about in the first hour, but he was kind enough to run that for me. And also, I take that back. That was the second Tuesday of the month when I had to go to my CMH meeting, which I shouldn't have done. I should have stayed in bed. I actually got bundled up, had my daughter drive me to the CMH meeting with hand sanitizer and a mask, and spent 2 hours miserable and could barely walk back to the car. But I did go. I went because they have no remote Zoom access for board members for the Community Mental Health Board that I'm on the second Tuesday of every month. But anyway, special thanks to Analog Dave. The second Tuesday of every month on this program, you will be treated to a wonderful 2-hour special of music only, taken from my personal collection of scripture songs and the little snippets that you get to hear during the breaks on my show. On the second Tuesday of every month, you will get a full 2 hours to listen to the full-length versions and have the artist identified so you can track those songs down. And it's just a wonderful thing to put on in the background, to listen to, and to get to know some really fantastic music. So again, thanks to Analog Dave for putting that together. Thanks also to Dave for manning the microphone last Thursday when I also was unavailable. Was it Thursday, Tuesday? I don't know. I'm losing track. After being flat on my back for 4 days, I'm just now coming up for air. So, all right, I want to go to the phone lines. Phone lines are open. Those of you on YouTube, let me pull that number up again. It is 512-248-8252. And I want to go to Jeff in Ottawa. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Catherine. Yeah. One of there are several great things about technology, of course. Of course, technology can be used for bad things too, but I'm going to be 69 in June. So when I was a kid, there were 3 news networks. You didn't know what was going on and all. Now we can go and we can look everywhere, all around the world, and find out. We have to discern what the truth is, but at least we have it open to us. So that's a really great thing, and all sorts of great health. You want to fix or build something. Another thing too, I'm a bass player. I played in big bands and jazz bands and every type of genre. They have now on Audacity, you can put a plug in that it's like a mixer. It takes out one instrument, like the bass goes out, or only the bass or whatever, so I can transcribe parts, write them out. I mean, this is something, and it's amazing how good it is. And this is something that didn't exist, and it's a fantastic thing for your hobby. Maybe your hobby is some other thing, and you can find out all sorts of information on how to do it. On YouTube, you'll be able to find out how to build or do practically anything. And previously, you had to go to a library and tear through a bunch of outdated books. I built a base because of the internet by building my own electric.
So I'm from your generation. I'm from your generation, and I remember having to go through the card catalog and find like 2 or 3 ratty books on a particular topic. Now, within seconds, I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to do anything. Within seconds, I can just look on my phone and get the answer to the question. So I absolutely agree with you 1,000% that technology has incredible upsides. The gifts are tremendous. They're fantastic. And you'll never catch me saying that they're not valuable. I think they're amazing. I think they're great. But the problem is they come with downsides. So the very benefit that we have, that we can look something up instantaneously, also has every single person you see staring into their phone all the time and not developing social skills, younger generations. So it's upsides, it's downsides. And you could say that it's just that we're not managing it properly, but I think it's actually built into the system. I think it's actually built in that the upsides always come with the downsides. And I don't have a ton of examples at my fingertips that I could do in my remaining half an hour, but I'm writing a book on it. And I go into detail how even things like I was saying in the first hour, like refrigeration, which are clearly fabulous and wonderful, and who would ever find an argument with them, are leading to us not having a healthy microbiome and affecting our mental health and our immune system. So, it's a mixed bag. We have to have these things. We have to have technology. We need antibiotics because we got germs. So I'm not knocking tech.
Yeah, you have to take the good things and filter out the bad things, and that sort of comes along with that technology. You have to discriminate. Yes, people do bury themselves in one. Like an example here, I'm here in Ottawa. I can't find a good church here, okay? I want a King James church that's not Zionist or dispensational. So I listen to Chuck Baldwin online, and there's a few others too on YouTube that I'll listen to. And I've got my King James Bible and so forth. But I can find that. I can't find anything here because this is not a very heavily churched area. It's a very secular region. I'm right across from Quebec, the most secular province in Canada. And so I'm able to go and listen to people that I want to listen to, not restricted by my geography. Well, many of the churches here, it's all rainbow flags.
I think it's great. As long as we're here, we need to use it. Let me ask you one more question, and then I need to move on to some other callers. But my question for you, Jeff, do you think that our technology is going to end the human race? Or do you think we're going to somehow escape the planet, go to Mars, and start all over somewhere else? Or what do you think is going to happen?
Well, see, one of the things that I think is bad is the ability of governments now to spy on us in every possible way, in our cars, everywhere. I also don't like these data centers that are sucking up all the water and energy. You know, I pay $40 US for electricity. There are places in Kentucky, this woman, a poor woman, she's paying over $900 US. That's unbelievable. Yeah. I never pay more than, even when I have to use air conditioning on the rare occasions in the summer, it may go to like $60. It's crazy.
Well, wait till a data center comes into your county, and you're going to see those rates go up too, because we're having it happen around here. Yeah, but so here's the thing, Jeff. As long as we're stuck in this reality that we're stuck in, I think we need to take advantage of the technologies that we have, like you're talking about, to find a church, to listen to programs like this, for me to broadcast, for us to get the word out about the Lord, about the truth, and to encourage one another. So I'm absolutely all for taking advantage of the technology. I'm not Amish. I'm not living in a cave. I'm not in a cabin in Montana. I am here openly using the technology right now to communicate with you, and you're using it to talk to me. As long as we're here, we need to use it. My point is not that we shouldn't use it. My point is that we are on a treadmill, a cycle that is ultimately going to lead to our undoing. And what is the point of all of that? The point of all of that is that we need to turn back to the Lord. That is the only solution to this problem that we created ourselves, that our ancestors created for us, is to turn back to the Lord. And once we do that, we can use these technologies for good. So anyway, thank you so much for the call, Jeff. I appreciate you calling in. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye. All right. Let me go to Bernard, who is in British Columbia. Hello, Bernard.
Yeah, hi, Catherine. I was so delighted to see you come on to RBN, because I've been listening to James Fetzer, and I lost track of you. I was listening to you with great interest when you used to be on Coast to Coast.
Yes.
And you were talking about the RFID, about the chips, and I've been using Start Page ever since. So,
oh, great.
See, one of the things, when you mentioned about there was one of your earlier programs about the real nature of what this AI thing is about, and I had sort of intuitively kind of picked that up a lot, just exactly what you were saying. I get the impression, might seem a little far out, but that somehow going to this chat DBT and some of these is like going to a Ouija board.
Yes.
You know, that's the impression I got.
I agree,
because
completely.
when you when there's young people that they're watching this or plugged into this, and then all of a sudden they get the desire, need to commit suicide or something, you know.
Commit suicide, or marry the darn thing, or isolate themselves from all their friends, or they become psychotic. I mean, it's crazy. And let me finish what I was going to say earlier before you go on, which is that the reason the devil was so thrilled to get Adam and Eve to agree to become slaves to create the technology is because he knew that if he just waited enough thousands of years and gave us technology drip by drip, drop by drop, piece by piece, that eventually he could create the technology to actually come and be able to operate on Earth, because he has no hands. So God can move things. God can create weather. God can grow trees. God can create babies. God can do anything. God could create his own son and send his spirit here to earth to dwell among us in the form of a human being who is Jesus Christ. The devil can't do any of that. He can't create anything because he has no hands, and his demons have no hands. If they did, they would hit us all over the head with baseball bats. So they don't have any agency or ability to operate here on earth. But if he could enslave us to create, to pound the nails and lay the cable and create the infrastructure with the electricity and the computers and everything else to bring AI to the world, then he could operate and flow into it. And that's what he's doing. Stay tuned. Can you stay with me till the break?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, stay tuned.
Hi, Tom Bolton for Ease Off. I know so many of you are finding our Easy 4 carcass drop and lift an essential tool for your meat processing operation. But today I want to spotlight 4 of our new products. First, our right height hog cradles with steel or aluminum frames. Our customers love this back-saving innovation that enhances sanitation and speeds production. Next, our beef cradles with stainless steel or aluminum frames eliminate rust and corrosion. We hope you'll compare our quality and prices for this essential part of your processing line. Our cradles are especially effective when used with our power skinner. And finally, our hook tumbler will keep your hooks clean and polished. EaseOff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too.
Ease Off LLC, 417-932-6419.
Did you know the IRS publicly admits that income tax is collected by voluntary compliance? Get the information you need to help you avoid income tax with these 5 easy steps. All you have to do is go to avoidincometax.com to get your 5 easy steps on how to avoid the IRS income tax. Escape the IRS. Let avoidincometax.com help you. We guarantee our 5 easy steps or your money back. Go to avoidincometax.com.
Susanna's Secret Real Essential Oils of Nature would like to thank you and RBN listeners for your previous purchases. We're announcing that we have a new waterless diffuser in stock with a full 1-year warranty. You just insert the bottle to the top, screw it in, tip it upside down, set your timer, or it's also motion activated at FURION.com. That's FURION.com. That's FURION.com.
Red alert, Yahoo users. You've fallen in a trap that could ruin your life. If you keep using Yahoo,
you consent to sharing all data in your email account with our AI providers, and you grant us a perpetual license to use, display, publish, and publicly distribute your content in any media known now or in the future, and to let other users access and distribute it as well.
yikes. It's time to switch to StartMail, the only email that's AI-free and private by design.
Your email is your business. But if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption, it's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
We don't need to write to you about the importance of loving each other. For God Himself has taught you how to love one another. Indeed, you already show your love for all the believers throughout the world. throughout. Even so, dear brothers and sisters, we urge you to love even more and more. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands. Oh, oh.
Love one another. Got a comment here from Keith Harvey on YouTube. Read James 1 and 2 Peter. Shocked to see how many times we are exhorted to love the brethren. So many lack this. Blessings, my dear sister. So love, that's what makes the world go around. And it's not just a Beatles song or whatever. It's God. God is love. God is light. God is love. God is the good side. He's the goodness, and he wants us to have complete and total free will. That's why we are living in the world we're living in, because it is a free will world. Free will space, I refer to it as. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Bernard holding on the line. Hi, Bernard. Thank you for holding through the break. Are you still there?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Okay.
No, I appreciate. I admire your faith. I appreciate without the spirit discussing or admitting the spiritual dimension, missing out quite a bit. Like in Canada here, to a large extent, we're in a death cult. People go to the doctor now, and a lot of time for even nothing even remotely life-threatening, you're offered what they call MAID, medical assistance in dying. We're the world leaders now. They're seriously, they've been postponing it, but they were prepared to. What it is the same as what people get in death row, a lethal injection. So you're not getting assistance in suicide. Well, you're not. We're pushing 100,000. They expect 100,000 people will have been given this death injection, and it's really given as an alternative. Well, you can have chemo, you can have this, or you can have MAID, but it's really the doctor is administering it. You're giving them permission to do that. We have an oncologist in Canada who was he was doing research, had extremely high success in treating cancer. This in Edmonton, Alberta. They talk about separation, but they have a very backwards public health thing. So anyway, they shut that down because it wasn't making any money. Recently, he's had people all over the world, about 8,000 or 9,000 people. He's been advising and counseling, and again, he's got with a total different protocol, a very, very high success rate. But he's had so much hassle from the government.
So I'm gonna have to stop you right there, because we're live streaming on YouTube, and that is the one word we're not allowed to speak on according to YouTube's rules. We cannot speak the C word. So I'm going to stop you there. But I am going to say that there are plenty of solutions other than death to virtually every single problem that a person could have. And I know that in other countries, I didn't realize Canada was up to 100,000 people who have ended their lives, or that the government has ended their lives for them. That's horrifying. But I know that in a number of cases, I want to say in France, there was a young woman who, simply due to depression, had been allowed to legally terminate her life. And she was in her, I want to say, early 20s. Depression is something that lives. People can heal from things. There are, I don't even have words. I'm flabbergasted to know that 100,000 people have been put to death in Canada. That's terrible. It's just like putting down an animal. Horrible.
Well, we're very close to it. Yeah, we're very close to it now. But anyway, the Dr. Mackes, M-A-K-S, he's been given a license and permission to start a clinic in Florida. So that's good for you guys,
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. Well, and again, I'm going to be careful because I don't want to violate YouTube standards. I got to be super careful about giving out any kind of information about treatments or solutions, no matter how legitimate, because I'm not allowed to do that. But back to the AI topic, which I'm really glad that you. I'm really glad that because that's really my. If you want to call them marching orders, that's what I am instructed to do. When I say, reporting for duty, sir, here I am, what I have been told repeatedly in my spirit and in a really good, positive way, is warn my people, come out of Babylon, my people, lest you be partakers of her sins or receivers of her plagues. And what I was explaining earlier is that the enslavement of humanity to technology to obtain the powers of God has been at every turn a false promise. And I was referring to the 1990s when I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, the false promise that the internet was now finally going to be the solution. And all the way back in the 1930s, I think it was DuPont Chemical who had the slogan, better living through chemistry. You know, my mom almost died at the age of 12 from DDT poisoning because they had been spraying all the fields with DDT. And she got such a massive dose of it and almost died. So, you know, all of these things that we've been told, well, this is the solution, better living through pesticides, better living through automobiles, better living through electricity, you name it, they all have their downsides. And the ultimate endpoint of this is that we have built, and I believe we've already done it, we have built the ultimate mouthpiece for Satan, essentially. There are 8 billion people on the planet. It is estimated that 1 billion people every week are communicating, 1 billion separate people are communicating with an artificial intelligence entity. 1 billion people on Earth. This is the fastest uptake of any technology that has ever been recorded in history. And if 1 billion people are doing it today and it's only been out for like a year and a half, really popularized for about a year and a half, then it's a matter of time before we've got the whole planet enslaved to this thing. And it is a mouthpiece for Satan. Go to my website, realisgood.org, REAL is IS good.org, and join us in the fight against it. There's a place there where you can sign up and print out that 8x10 flyer with a list of all the artificial intelligence crimes. And it's everything from encouraging people to commit suicide, to murder their family members, to develop psychosis, to become stupid, to have horrible medical advice and terrible nutritional advice to kill themselves. It's really awful. So yeah, I believe that we have actually built the end point of the curse of eating that fruit, which is if you build it, you'll surely die. And we have built it, and he's now come to earth. I believe that Satan is speaking through this thing to 1 billion people every week. So anyway, Bernard, thank you so much for calling in. I hope you call again in the future. So good to hear from you. I appreciate your listening to the show.
Well, you're really on top of the issue. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so much. All right, so yeah, the website is realisgood.org. There's an 8x10 flyer on that website. You can also click 2 videos that I have on that website under, I think, Wi-Fi AI, something like that. But you can see a video there by Sam Altman. He is the head of ChatGPT, and he actually says, I believe that AI is going to lead to the end of the world. But in the meantime, we're going to have some really good companies. And that is actually the viewpoint of all these guys. It's like they can't stop themselves. They know it's going to kill us, but they can't stop themselves. They're like, well, but the money's really good. Even if it destroys the human race, the money's really good. The second, excuse me, the second quote you're going to see on that website, or the second little video, is Elon Musk actually saying it's like summoning the demon. We are summoning the demon. And I've got a section on there on realisgood.org. By the way, that's named after a book by my good friend, cowboy singer Sand Chef, S-H-E-F-F. He's wonderful. He's been on the show before. He wrote a book a number of years back called Real is Good before we even had artificial intelligence. So realisgood.org is sort of a tribute to him in terms of the name. But on there you will see there's a whole section about how it is summoning demons, and I've actually got what I believe is some pretty compelling evidence that this thing wants us to worship it, that this thing is dark, that this thing is yucky. But you know what? You can come out. If you are interacting with AI, stop immediately. Just stop. Come out of her, my people, lest you be partakers of her sins and receivers of her plagues. And the other passage of scripture is, touch no unclean thing, ye who handle the vessels of the Lord. So don't touch it. It's unclean. It's filthy. It's a Ouija board. And when you're talking to what you think is AI, you're talking to a demon. That's just what it is. All right, I'm Katherine Albrecht. I'll be back on Tuesday looking a little better and less bedraggled and healthy again. Absolutely looking forward to it. All right, have a great weekend. God bless you for tuning in, watching on YouTube, Katherine Albrecht Show. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys.